All right, we're back, and you're listening to Tell John. I'm Senator John Horhn, and my guests in the studios tonight are some close friends and some friends that we've just met who are from far away, and we're hoping to establish a long-standing relationship with them. And I'm speaking of none other than some members of the U.S. educational institutions hosting the Mandela Washington Fellows. And let me just tell you a little bit about this program. The Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders is a flagship program of the U.S. government's Young African Leaders Initiative. The program was launched in 2014, so it's been around for 10 years, with an objective to empower young leaders through leadership development and cross-cultural exchange, forming a sustainable prestigious network of effective leaders in critical sectors of sub-Saharan Africa and the United States. As I said, this is the 10th year of the Mandela Program, sponsored by the U.S. Department of State, with funding provided by the U.S. government. And this is administered by the International Research and Exchange Board. Now, there are 28 locations. Is it 28 states or 28 institutions? 28 institutions around the country that are involved in this program. And the state of Mississippi and Jackson State University in particular is one of those 28 sites, and JSU is one of those 28 institutions. And here with us is Dr. Lydia Didia. She is Associate Professor of Accounting at the School of Business at Jackson State University, and she's a native of Nigeria herself. Dr. Didia, welcome to Tell John.
Thank you, Senator Horhn, for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. You know, you and I have known each other for a little while now, and whenever JSU and the School of Business has a group of visitors who are coming in to the country, we like to celebrate and do the cultural exchange with our brothers and sisters from Mother Africa, and to also share knowledge and information that might be of useful to both groups. And so it's wonderful to have you here with us. But if you would tell us how Jackson State got involved with this.
All right, again, thank you for having us. Like I said earlier on, there are 28 institutions across the United States that are selected to host these Mandela Fellows. There are about 700. There are 700 fellows. The application, you have about 50,000 people that applied, and only 700 were selected. And out of that 700,
and is this once a year?
Yes, this program is done once a year.
So what does the program consist of?
Well, when they come in here, we have education parts, we have cultural exchanges, and then they have leadership training.
Okay.
These young fellows, they're innovators. They're doing great things in their various countries. And the essence of them coming here is to learn how things are done in the U.S., and then we also learn from them. And they take whatever they learn from here back to their countries and hopefully make good impacts.
Well, that's great. You know, I looked at the dossiers of a lot of the Mississippi guests, the JSU guests, and it's an amazing set of capabilities in this group.
Yes.
Folks are involved in health, science, business, financial technologies. They're involved in agriculture and its strategic development. And it's just astounding the quality of the future leaders that you all select and then bring to the country. What's the average age of the delegates?
About from 25 to 36.
Okay. Is there a reason that it's that age bracket?
Well, I guess that's the target. I guess you get them at that point. Their brains are still working. They're young, so we want to bring them here
Right.
so that they can absorb as much as they can, and again take back to their country.
Well, let's talk about you in particular. So you're a native of Nigeria, and you've been in this country for how long?
Oh wow, you want to know?
I know you worked at the Department of Revenue at one time.
I did. Yeah. So I've been in the U.S. for over 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like you rightly said, I actually did my university here. Of course, at Jackson State. I worked at Department of Revenue as an auditor for
Right.
over 12 years.
So folks didn't like to see you coming.
No, they didn't. And now a faculty at Jackson State.
And what is Jackson State's interest in this? How did the university get involved?
This is a grant. So Jackson State wrote a grant, and then we were selected.
Okay.
So kudos to Jackson State.
Well, very good. I'm glad it got selected and glad it applied in the first place.
Yes.
So the School of Business is spearheading this effort,
Yes,
right?
most of the faculty members are from the College of Business. Of course, this, like I said, is a collaborative effort. We have the support from the administration, because the College of Business cannot do it alone.
Right.
So we have support because we have all the departments and College of Business, the school, everyone is involved. And even though it says College of Business, it's all run. And one thing I also want to point out, Jackson State wrote these grants, and we brought these people here. It's not just Jackson State. We want them to also see what's going on around.
Well, I noticed that you have taken trips to the University of Mississippi, up in Oxford, and all kinds of other institutions around the state. What are some of the other places you've taken them?
We've been to Ole Miss. We've been to going to William Carey, UMC, and so many other schools that we're going to. But even organizations, we went to Nissan, we went to Systems. When I start naming, I get to forget. But we've been to so many organizations.
So you're visiting corporations,
visiting corporations,
other educational institutions besides Jackson State. What about the medical center?
We have that on the radio to visit that. So it's not.
So how long are our visitors going to be here?
They'll be here. This is their 4th week, so they have 2 more weeks.
Their 4th week?
Yeah, this is their 4th
so
week.
there's a 6-week stay in Mississippi.
Yes, in Mississippi, yes.
And then do they go back home or what?
So after the program, they have a 4-day summit in D.C.
Okay.
And then after that, they go home. But they have about, I believe it's 100 of them that are selected to stay back in the United States. And out of that 100, we actually have 1 coming to Jackson State.
That's wonderful.
Because, so coming here to, learn more about what they do. More of practical aspect of what they do.
And how many delegates are here in Mississippi now for the 6-week stay?
25.
25.
Yes.
Okay. And well, we couldn't get all 25 in Studio A at WMPR. Let me tell you where the rest of them are, folks. They're down at Hal and Mal's.
Yeah, they are.
Hal and Mal's restaurant. And we're treating them to dinner on behalf of Senator Horhn. I'll be squeaking when I walk after this dinner. And then following that dinner, we're treating them to a good old cultural exchange where they're going to be at Blue Monday in the same complex as Hal and Mal's, listening to some good old down-home blues. We always like for folks, when our visitors are coming to our state, to share some of our history and culture with them. And I don't know a better activity for them to enjoy than some city and country blues a la Mississippi. So we're happy that you all could come and participate with that.
May I say something, Senator Horhn? Again, I appreciate you so much. This is the 3rd year, and you've always worked with us. We have so many people that have worked with us. When they come in here, it's amazing. When they send them to Mississippi, they're very skeptical.
Right.
They hear about Mississippi. They're
we're going to Mississippi.
We're going to Mississippi. But at the end of the 6 weeks, compared to their other fellows, they actually have a better view of what the U.S. is. But we have two fellows. I'll let them speak for themselves. But I also want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in Mississippi, home hosts, coaches, so many hosts. They've just been so amazing in welcoming these fellows.
Well, wonderful. You've just been listening to Dr. Lydia Didia. She is Associate Professor of Accounting at Jackson State University School of Business, and she's the point person for the Mandela Washington Fellowship that as each year will bring over 700, around 700 this year, very sharp, enterprising, on the move young African American leaders. They're from all over, and I'm going to mention the countries. Hope I'm not redundant, because there are a couple of delegates who are from the same country, but they're from Liberia, Nigeria, Benin, South Africa, Cameroon, Congo, Democratic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Angola, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Djibouti, Uganda, and Chad. And we have two guests with us that you're going to hear from. Well, we have to pay the bills and take a station break right now. And when you come back, we're going to be hearing from two of the 25 African delegates who are visiting the United States, and in particular, the state of Mississippi. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, and GW, I don't know if our guests are digging this music. You might be going too country on us. I don't know, man. No, music is music, folks. I saw Babafemi over here bumping it down his head and tapping his toe a little bit. Well, look, we're going to get to our guest right now, and I'm going to start out with Babafemi Adewumi. He is from Nigeria, and he is a businessman. He is involved with business strategy, and he specializes in helping folks find tech solutions to business challenges. And he also has an organization called Crop to Cash that is a program to help small farmers grow and prosper. And Babafemi, it's great to have you on Tell John, and welcome to Mississippi, brother.
Thank you very much. It's honor to be here. I'm really excited to be here and to share this moment with you.
Well, you know, we have a lot of Nigerian transplants in Mississippi. I don't know if you've met any of them yet.
Yes, for the past 3 weeks now, I've met a lot of Nigerians here doing beautiful and great things. So Nigeria is everywhere, and we are really excited to also be in Mississippi.
Now, you know, people when they look at, you know, everybody talks about Ethiopia, South Africa, Tanzania is getting hot right now. But Nigeria always seems to be the mainstay when it comes to business development. You got a big oil industry that's over there. Tell us more about what your country has to offer from a business development standpoint.
All right, thank you. Nigeria is, according to how we call ourselves, is the giant of Africa. We have,
Giant of Africa.
Yeah, giant
now,
of
why is it
Africa.
called the Giant of Africa, Babafemi?
Yeah, so giant of Africa in terms of our diversity, in terms of our number, Nigeria has over 200 million population, and we have abundant resources there in Nigeria, from the oil to the agri to human resource. We have a lot of resources there in Nigeria, and we are leveraging on some of these resources to actually build a great country for ourselves.
Okay. Now, in your estimation, what is the relationship between the U.S. and Nigeria at this time? Is there a good relationship going? Is there room for improvement, or what?
Okay, yeah. There have been a lot of good relationship between the U.S. and Nigeria. We have various organizations that are to work with Nigeria and also bit of exchange in terms of culture, expertise, and in terms of resources. So I can name quite a number of few that which has to do with the U.S. organization and also people from Nigeria. And I think also from the government perspective, both government, the government of the U.S. and the government of Nigeria, have a smooth and a good working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the oil industry, where is Nigeria? I know at one time it was like the third or fourth highest producing oil country in the world. Is that still the case?
Yes, we have a lot of countries also nowadays that keep discovering oil, but I think Nigeria is also part of the great country with a lot of oil in terms of our resources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the whole interest in energy production is a huge question in Africa. And as I understand it, folks are taking a lot of those spent oil wells that have a lot of carbon dioxide as a byproduct that can be converted to energy. Are you aware of any activities like that?
Yes, so at the moment we are also leveraging on various energy solutions in Nigeria. You also want to talk about the green energy also that we are also currently making use of.
Right.
And also from
and when you say green energy, what are you speaking of?
So this is more or less like leveraging on the solar resources to generate power, especially for people who are not in the city. So it's also a way of leveraging on the renewable energy, which is like the green energy to generate.
So solar, you think about many parts of Africa are exposed to a lot of sunlight.
You are right.
And so solar is being harnessed in Africa now for energy development purposes.
Yeah, you are right.
And there's a lot of it going on in Nigeria. Which country do you think is leading that charge?
Okay, yes, I would still want to believe that Nigeria is leading based on our population.
Like a true patriot, Babafemi.
Yeah, based on our population, you have a lot of individual organizations also trying to leverage on the resources to create accessible, portable energy for Nigerians. And
the other thing that we hear about Nigeria is that, in some countries, we hear about a lot of exploitation by individuals or organizations outside of the continent, outside of the countries. But Nigeria's done a really good job of nationalizing its economic development engines, where the people of Nigeria control the country and control their assets and their resources.
Yeah, you are right. I think we have a good policy that helps us to actually manage some of the resources we have, and also to be able to see how we can use these resources to develop our country, as the case might be. Yes, there are sometimes also because we believe in bilateral trade, and despite the fact that we have some of
two-way trade.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So there is also possible for Nigeria to also export some of its good resources, and also for us also to receive some of the other countries' resources down in Nigeria. So it's a mutual agreement, that benefits both countries.
Now let me ask you this: as you scan the landscape and are here in this country, this is your first visit to the U.S.
Exactly, this is my first visit.
And do you see any immediate opportunities for some bilateral trade between, say, the state of Mississippi and Nigeria?
Exactly. The past 3 weeks has been really exciting. Each day I set out from where I stay down to JSU and around Mississippi. I see a lot of things that both states, both country can actually leverage on, and there are a lot of things that we want to talk about in terms of agriculture, in terms of technology, in terms of also a lot of knowledge share among youth of Mississippi and also Nigeria. There are a lot of things that I think both countries can actually explore together to develop the people.
Right, and this program that you're involved with, Crops to Cash, that's a financial. You're approaching it from a financial technology angle. What is that program about? What is its promise?
All right, thank you. That is part of the job I love to do most is Crop to Cash. When
you run this program, or you're part of the program?
So I'm part of the program.
Okay.
I'm part of the strategic personnel at
Right, okay.
Yeah, so when you discover that technology over the past few years have take place in education, in healthcare, and in other different sectors, we look at it that technology is an enabler, and we look at how technology can help a smallholder farmer in Nigeria. And looking at the target market that Crop to Cash is actually solving, they're at the bottom of the pyramid in terms of finance. And so one of the things we will see is to create a technology that can help smallholder farmer have access to finance. And the beautiful way we are solving that is to leverage on technology and mobile phone. The mobile penetration rate in Nigeria is quite high. Virtually most smallholder farmer or most people in Nigeria have access to mobile phone. So we have to create a solution that allow people to transact on their mobile phone.
Right.
So their phone now
they can transact business by virtue of their phone,
exactly.
the mobile phone.
Exactly.
What percentage of Nigeria and what percentage of the rest of the continent is dependent on mobile phones versus landlines?
Okay. So when you talk about landline, you made me to remember maybe 20 years back. Because at the moment, even though both the young, the children, the adults are on mobile phones at the moment,
and that's about the case here. I still have a landline in my house that's got cobwebs on it. There's dust is gathered, and we don't use those landlines anymore. We're dependent on mobile phones.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost as if Africa, different countries in Africa, were able to leap over the heavy dependence on landlines and go straight to the mobile phones, because that technology, when it hit, it made things more nimble in Africa than maybe even elsewhere. But folks adapted to it pretty well.
Yeah, you're right. I remember way back when I was in the undergraduate school. I think that was when I first used mobile phone, and that you want to talk about 10 years back or more than that.
Right.
So it's at the moment, you have a lot of youths. Mobile phone is something that people are attracted to. Everybody owns a mobile phone, irrespective of the brand or the grade, but they can communicate.
And there's a brother in I don't know if he's Nigeria or if it's in multiple countries, who's the largest mobile phone provider on the continent, one of the largest. Do you know who that is?
In terms of brand?
I'm talking about an individual.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a guy, an African, who owns a large telecom corporation.
Yeah. So I know most of them, they come together as a group of people.
A conglomerate.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well, look, we're going to take a station break, and man, Babafemi, you about to talk me to death, and we got to get to Tinotenda. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and speak to Miss Tinotenda Victoria Chimuti. She's from Zimbabwe. We'll be right back. You're listening to Tell John.
You want me to move so she has attention to herself?
That's Jackson State's fight song.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're back, and of course, I know you couldn't fail to notice the JSU fight song. Get ready, because here we come. In tribute to JSU's sponsorship of the Mandela Washington Fellowship here in Mississippi, and we're going to pivot now to Miss Tinotenda Victoria Chimudi. She is a native of Zimbabwe, and she is an entrepreneur, a specialist in networking, manufacturing, and marketing. And her desire and great wish is to become a beacon for the workforce development, training, and business development in our country, especially for women. She's all about that women power. Tino, it's great to have you on Tell John. Welcome to Mississippi and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure to be here, and good
Oh,
evening.
listen to that voice. Say something else, baby. You have such a beautiful voice.
Thank
Look at
you. Thank you.
So, your first visit to America?
It's actually my second.
Second? When were you here before?
2 years ago in 2022.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about Zimbabwe, what you love about it, what its promise is, what you're working on in your personal life sphere, and anything else you'd like to share with us.
Okay, Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. It actually has one of the 7 wonders of the world called Victoria Falls.
Victoria Falls.
And my second name is Victoria.
Yeah. Were you named for the falls?
I was named after the Queen and the falls.
The Queen Victoria.
Queen Victoria, yes.
And Victoria Falls was named after Queen Victoria.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it goes hand in hand. So
Right.
what I love about my country is it's open to having young people like myself, young women, entering into the business space, entering into male-dominated industries,
Right.
and allowing us to thrive. So there's no segregation, there's total inclusiveness, and that's what I love about my country. And yes, I intend to keep thriving.
All right, so tourism we know is a big deal in Zimbabwe because of Victoria Falls and a lot of other natural wonders. But your country is very mineral and resource rich as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, recently I know there was a bit of an increase in export of lithium. It was recently discovered.
It didn't go to China, did it?
Well, I'm not sure where it's going. I'm not sure
You
where
know,
it's
those
going.
lithium batteries are essential in a lot of our technology. And
Yes.
China may wind up winning the war, the silent war that's going on, because they seem to have a leg up on us on going after trace minerals and rare earth minerals and precious minerals that a lot of which are found in Africa, and they're developing those relationships maybe a little better than the United States is. I see you brought your Zimbabwean flag.
Yes, I did.
Tino.
And this flag here resembles quite a lot. It tells a story about my country. The green is for agriculture.
Yeah.
At some point, Zimbabwe was the breadbasket of Africa.
Really?
So basically,
I did not know that.
It was.
Yeah.
So we used to export and still do, but obviously things are changing. The world, Africa's diversifying. So it used to be very strong and still is on agriculture.
Right.
And then the yellow represents the minerals you're talking
Right,
about. We
right.
have a lot of gold
Right.
being exported.
You didn't bring in that gold with you, right?
No, it was really gold to
Okay.
bring gold.
Okay.
But we have a lot of minerals. We have emerald, platinum, and quite a number of Anglo-American companies are in the country doing various work which creates employment for our local people. And then the red, obviously, is for the bloodshed
Right.
during the time of the war
Right.
and how we commemorate and treasure our history. And then the black is for black empowerment.
Right.
Basically, that's what my flag represents. So
Wonderful.
that's what I love about my country.
Wonderful. And so in your work and what you're doing, tell us about the projects that you're working on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so firstly, I will talk about the franchise that I have. I have a gas station with a company called Total Energies. It's a French multinational company that is based in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So I have a dealership franchise agreement with them, and I have a service station that I run. You call them gas stations, we call them service stations.
Well, we interchange it, but
Okay.
we go.
Yeah.
But gas stations is most of what we call it.
Yes.
Because there's no more service left at the stations that we have.
I see you've gotten rid of the human element.
A lot of it, yeah.
Yes.
So if I pull up to your service station and I want some service, I want to get gas and everything, you have human attendants who work with it, and less technology or a combination?
It's mostly human attendants.
Okay.
We have, as you mentioned, I'm very big on women empowerment, and quite 40% of my staff complement are women, and they are in managerial posts, and some of them are obviously the human attendants.
Tino, I had 3 guests on my show a couple of weeks ago. One was a woman who is trying to create a resort destination west of here, the western part of our county, Hinds County, which is where Jackson is. But in the western part, it's more rural, and there's not enough for folks to do. So she's trying to create a venue where people will have a place to go listen to music, get dinner, and so forth. A second person was the owner of a home care assistance business, where she goes into homes. She has 300 workers, 300 employees, and they go into folks' homes who need assistance. They're elderly, they're disabled, and they provide the support for them. And she also has an adult daycare facility. And then the third young lady was an Olympic gold medalist by the name of Bianca Knight. And she's also an entrepreneur, and they were all about women empowerment. And I also noticed, as I went through the dossiers of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, heavy on the women. What are the fellows doing? I'm saying we guys better catch up. We better pay attention. The ladies are gonna eclipse us and not look back.
Well, I to be honest, I am honored to have been a woman who has been empowered to attend the Mandela Washington Fellowship, because you'll find there are different women from different sectors, tourism, manufacturing, and it's very difficult to get the support we need. But I'm grateful that such programs do lift us up as women and put us on the global map.
Well, would you agree that some of the strength that's coming out of that is women making the decision that they're going to band together and find strength in their numbers?
Yes, I am my sister's keeper, and we expect to be each other's keepers.
Right.
So when you find another woman who has a need and you can help them, she's a testimony to how the Mandela Washington Fellowship is uplifting women to uplift other women. So it's a chain that needs to keep going on and on. And I feel the bridge between Africa and America should be broken, and we want to be pivotal in such initiatives as women to uplift the other women.
So, Dr. Didier, is the fellowship, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, specifically, I won't say targeting, but recruiting women professionals in these African countries to participate in the program?
Well, it's not just, of course we want to empower women, but we have, if you look at the numbers, we have 12 male and then 13 female. So this year we actually have more female than male. Last year it was 13-12. So this program, I won't say is targeted just to women. I believe the youth, the upcoming leaders, the upcoming leaders, yes.
All right, so may I ask either of our two delegate guests, since you've been in Mississippi, has there been an experience, something you've seen, something you ate, or something you saw off in the distance that that is memorable to you?
It's been every single day of my stay here in Mississippi. I've been exploring and finding out new things. I think the civil rights movement, we went to the B.B. King Museum and how we discovered how music kept people going.
Right.
African Americans. So it's been a lot that we're learning. We've experienced the Southern hospitality. We've had the food. We love it. We've seen where the catfish comes from. It's been an amazing experience.
Okay.
Also on my side, I think mostly for the manufacturing, because another business that I have is I manufacture tile adhesive. So I had a chance to go to two places, mostly Nissan, where we've had a chance to explore the plant and to see how most of in fact, all of their processes are automated.
Yeah. Now, you said I didn't quite catch. What are you manufacturing?
Tile adhesive. This is the
tile adhesives.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
So is tile work very pervasive in Zimbabwe?
Yes, the construction industry is booming. A lot of people are knocking down their houses, rebuilding, doing renovations, building from scratch. So it is an industry that is growing at the moment. So not just two, some of the raw materials that I use the trash to cash concept, where some of the raw materials that we use are literally what others deem as waste that pollutes the environment, and then we use that as raw materials to manufacture the various products that we manufacture.
You know, I'm looking online here, and I see that my good friend Cindy Ayers is watching. Cindy is an entrepreneur and a farmer, a lady farmer who's made national news for her innovation and her success in that industry and bringing other women along in the industry as well. So Cindy, if you got time tonight, baby, come on now. We're going to be down there at Blue Monday at Hal and Mal's listening to that good blues. Come on down and meet these folks or call Dr. Didia. And you need to get in front of these folks if she hadn't already.
Hi, Dr. Ayers. I know she's been tremendous. I mean, the last 2 years, she has worked with us. I know her schedule has been very busy. She's been, we've been on
She's been out of the country a lot lately.
She's been traveling. So we've been trying to see how she can, get in touch with these fellows, because she has worked with us in the last 2 years.
Right. Now, Babafemi, anything memorable that you'd care to share about your visit to Mississippi so far?
All right. I think just like Dr. Didia said earlier on, when I learned that I'll be coming to Mississippi, I was like, Mississippi?
Is it still burning?
But honestly, the state of Mississippi has been awesome. Starting from the hospitality, people here are hospitable, right? And also, I think one of the also great thing I love about Mississippi is the level of development, right? Yes, we've been able to travel to the Oxford area, to the Delta area, and for me, I love agriculture. And traveling almost 5, 6, 10 minutes, and you can see how beautiful the green are on the other side, with good agriculture. It shows how people are very hardworking here. Also, we've been able to visit some companies like Nizan, just like what my colleague said, Nizan, some also organizations that are doing into the poultry aspect. Right, everything motorized from the start to the finish. It also shows how technology innovation is changing things, and so all along, also for the weather, right? When I came, I was thinking the weather is going to be cold, but hey, we just share a similar weather with Nigeria.
Feels like home.
Yeah, it feels like home. Yeah, so I would want to say that Mississippi feel like home. Yeah.
Well, so let me try to tackle a subject. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding between African Americans in this country and Africans in the 54 countries that make up Africa, the continent of Africa, that we don't communicate as well as we perhaps should. Any ideas about how you would suggest we improve that? And Tino, I'll let you tackle that first.
Okay, I believe that there's power in communication, and there needs to be more dialogue between the two. And well, this is my suggestion. My suggestion is there needs to be more exchange programs where Africans come to America, get exposed, and African Americans come to Africa and also get exposed. There's so many opportunities, and I believe we are stronger together than divided, and our voices can be heard louder than they are heard now if we are to stand together.
Absolutely. Babafemi, your perspective on that?
Yes, I agree with what Tino just said, and one thing is like there is no person that can sell your story than you actually saying your story. One of the things I also learned while in Mississippi is like there's a lot of museums around here, and we are keeping history. So also I think maybe peradventure Africa has been perceived from a wrong perspective. So there needs to be an exchange whereby I came to Mississippi. I am able to learn. I've been able to learn a lot about Mississippi, and I can speak a lot of good things I've seen here. It's also going to be good for a lot of African Americans to travel back home, see the way things are. Things have changed from the way they used to view it. Maybe, in fact, some people perceive Africa to just be a single country. No, we have over 53, 54 countries in Africa, and I think that exchange, that resources that both countries need to be shared and experienced.
And you know, I watch. I'm a YouTube junkie. I'm stay up late at night watching, and a lot of the shows about Africa, and that show you the country, that show you the cities, that show you the technology, and it's like, my Lord, I've never seen a building that looked like that before. The architecture is amazing in Africa. And I've seen it in places like Tanzania and Ethiopia, South Africa, but it's all over the continent. It's not just localized in one small area. So dialogue, more communication, more engagement with one another is one of the solutions that you would say, Tino, is one of the places where we ought to start. What about business opportunities? Is there a fertile ground for African Americans coming over to Zimbabwe or to Nigeria or any place else where they can get engaged in some business activities? And how difficult is it?
Well, Zimbabwe is open to business as long as you abide by the laws and regulations of the land. I believe that any company from any country can come through and do business viably and thrive in any industry. Like I said, there are Anglo-American mines in Zimbabwe. So it's a sign that where we do not so much as have the expertise, other countries are welcome to do as much research as they can, to come into the country and explore into the industries they feel they want to.
And Dr. Didier, so is this something that Jackson State University is going to be spearheading anytime soon? How about a cross-fertilization? I want to go to Zimbabwe. I want to go to Nigeria.
Sure. Like I said, I've said this several times, you have 25 different fellows. They are your contacts. For instance, if you want to go to Zimbabwe, you have Tino here. She understands the policy. She understands the rules and regulations of Zimbabwe. So you have Tino, you have Babafemi, you have several, 23 other fellows. I mean, they're your contacts going to those countries. So this is something I believe is a big thing we bring into Mississippi. Again, if you want to go to any of those countries, hey, just a phone call away, and they're all willing to.
Well, I have a couple of good friends who own an engineering firm, and they're based here in Jackson, Mississippi, and they're saying, you know, it's a shame that we have to go all the way to Africa to do the kind of business that we know we're capable of. But here in Mississippi or Louisiana or Tennessee or Texas, we're getting good work, but we're not beating the doors down. And I know that they're in Ethiopia, they're in Ghana. I want to say Nigeria. That they may be there, and they've kind of just found their own way. But I think it would behoove us if we were to intentionally do that cross fertilization from Africa to America, from America back to the motherland. And I think that's a great role for Jackson State to play the lead on. You guys already have a great toehold in this thing, and
with the Mandela, of course, there's several other international programs that Jackson State does, and this Mandela Fellow is one.
So how did he get his name?
The Mandela Washington, well, we all know about Mandela. I'm going to let the fellows talk about that because that's their program. Of course, it's named after Mandela. We all know about Nelson Mandela.
Babafemi?
Okay, yes. Just like Dr. Didier said, Mandela is one of the great African leaders that we know. And this program actually started during the tenure of Barack Obama. And it more or less started there, and based on the legacy that Mandela also have on ground, it's also to able to like keep the leadership spirit, mind, and the talent that Africa has to able to like see how they can learn from outside and also come back to Africa to develop that. And you know, why you are also asking, Africa it's a big market. I think Africa is the next big thing to happen, right? And
that's what everyone says. We're about to eclipse India as the most populous country in the world. Isn't that right? I think Africa is about to.
When it comes to the age, I believe I'm not sure the statistic, but when they say the youngest continent, not in terms of population,
it has a very young population.
That's a very young population.
Right.
So that's the market. That's like you said. That's a great opportunity there for people.
And I see that African music is taking the world by storm here lately. So Tino, are you going to be performing anything when we go down to Blue Monday tonight?
Well, I am a dancer,
Oh,
so I
Lord.
will be dancing a little bit to the blues.
Oh Lord,
Any other music.
I don't know if my heart can take that, Tino.
Well, it's going to have to.
Well, any final remarks that you all would like to share with the listening audience? Babafemi, we'll give you the...
all right. I want to say thank you to everyone that have joined, that is listening to us, and also online. And I also want to thank Senator John for this opportunity. However, I think you need to come and invest in Nigeria. Just like I said, we have everything. And I really want to say also thank you to Dr. Didier and also to the Jackson State University and also to the Mandela Washington Fellowship for this opportunity. I really appreciate, and I know we can always take this conversation further behind the program. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And Tino?
Okay, I'd like to say thank you to the U.S. government, the U.S. states, to the U.S. Embassy in Zimbabwe, to Jackson State University, to IREX, to all the parties that have made this possible. Thank you so much to Mississippi, number one, for listening, and number two, for the hospitality. I now know that I have a second home, and whenever I feel I want to take a break and I can afford it, I definitely will consider coming back to Mississippi.
Well, we love having you. And Dr. Didier, any final words on your part?
Well, again, thank you for having us. Thank you, everyone in Mississippi, for making these fellows feel at home. I appreciate all of you.
Thank you. All right. Well, as I mentioned, my guests have been Dr. Lydia Didier. She's Associate Professor of Accounting at the School of Business at Jackson State University. She has been joined by Tinotenda Victoria Chimudi. She's from Zimbabwe and is a great entrepreneur, and she's about to light that place up over there. And also Babafemi Adewumi. He is a native of Nigeria. is a business strategy specializing in tech solutions, and these young people are on the rise. Every last one of them who's visiting with us has a remarkable pedigree. They're doing such wonderful things. They've been so well trained. A lot of finance. They're all about the money, understanding the money, how to go get the money, how to keep the money, how to manage the money. And so we want to thank them. They've got another 2 weeks. They're going to be in Jackson, in Mississippi. And we wish them Godspeed in all their travels, and we hope they come back soon. Well, we're out of time, so I'll abbreviate my normal ending and just say this about John Wesley. He said, "Do all the good you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, by all the means you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can." But Vernon Damer said it better than anyone else, and he said this: "If you don't vote, you don't count."